Hello everyone, my name is Zayan and my pronouns are he, him. And I hope that in next 16 to 17 minutes, we all go on a journey where we get to know a little about each other. And also bond over the love that some of us might share for Shahrukh Khan. So to begin this journey with, I have a question for all of you. How many of you, while growing up, were captivated by the charm and the charisma of Shahrukh Khan? I'm glad to see hands. Raise your hand if you ever wanted to be like Shahrukh Khan or find a lover as enchanting as him in your real lives. All of us? I'm very happy to see a lot of fans, which means a lot of Shahrukh Khan fans are here. Well, like many of you, I also wanted to be like Shahrukh Khan in my life. With that, तुझे देखा तू ये जाना सनम. While growing up with two brothers, where everybody was telling me to be like Preity Zinta or Rani Mukerji, amazing stars, little did people know that all this while, I've been feeling like Shahrukh Khan. Now I'm sure that some of you might be wondering about my gender. My gender identity is called trans man. What does that mean? For all of us here in the room, to understand it a little better, I will have to narrate a story to you. And for that, we will have to go to 1997, because that was the time when I was born. So once upon a time, a child was born. And when doctors held me in their arms, they said, "Hey, congratulations. You're blessed with a baby girl." So my parents started raising me like a girl. But by the age of 5 or 6, I realized that first, I do not feel like a girl. Second, I do not want to be like a girl. Because all this while, I've been feeling like a boy in my heart. So amidst all the blue, black, green, white, purple frocks and skirts that my parents would buy for me, I used to find ultimate solace wearing the shirts and the pants and the t-shirts of my elder brother. One thing that I absolutely loved about being a gender non-conforming child born in a lower middle class family was the fact and the tradition where you get to wear the clothes, the old clothes of your elder siblings. Yeah? So as a part of this tradition, the shirts and the pants and the shorts of my elder brother were given to me. But the frocks and the skirts, which were bought for me, were never given down to my younger sibling. Can you guess why? Because when my younger sibling was born, the doctor said, "Hey, congratulations, you're blessed with a baby boy." Clothes have a gender. So till date, I do not know what happened to those skirts and frocks which my parents bought for me, because neither did I wear it, nor did any of my other sibling. So, in school, as you already know, I always wanted to be like Shahrukh Khan. Dancing on all of his songs, singing his songs in the classroom. The question was, could I ever be like him? Things got harder for me when I turned 13. I was unable to make sense of my own gender identity, which rendered me into great confusions. Schools never gave us the vocabulary to understand our own gender identity and those of others. And that is, my friend, first of the institutionalized violence that has happened on all of us. Everybody sitting in this room being it queer or trans or even straight, all of us have been the victims of this very violence where we could not understand about our gender identity, but also the people around us. I was rendered into this confusion for 12 long years of my life, not knowing how to describe my own gender identity. While I was in school, I used to love dancing and singing on all of Shahrukh Khan's songs. So be it Chaiya, 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 or Gori, 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 Gori from Mehuna. But in all of the cultural programs, you would find me in the rows of the children who would be doing aerobics. Because the expectation of my teachers in the school was that I will wear feminine clothes. And that as an idea was so dysphoric and discomforting for me that I would always go and do aerobics just to get done with it, because a simple t-shirt and a track pant would do the job, and I'll be done. I sometimes wonder what life could have been if schools could understand that the idea of a child is very diverse. And there needs to be a room for all the differences to exist together. I ended up feeling that I am the only one feeling this way in this entire world. A boy trapped in this body. I was 17 when I got to know about my gender identity, and you know why? This is a very interesting story. One day in the morning, I was lying on the sofa watching Nat Geo. And in one of the episodes, they shared the story of a trans man. And while looking at that person on screen, I realized that all this while, all my life, I have been just feeling the way this person does. I finally had a term for my gender identity, and I was happy. But in class 11, between all the anxiety of doing and passing class 11 decently, and also scoring good marks in boards the next year, I was again rendered into this confusion and this big term called trans man. Though the anxiety of being the only one got a little relieved, because now I knew that I am not the only one. There are more people like me. But in the West GE, in India, maybe I'm still the only one. Loneliness. Loneliness can be a very scary and overwhelming feeling. Trust me, nobody in this room wants to be left alone in our lives. But when people are pushed into loneliness because of the differences that exist, then that is an action of violence, an act of injustice. And that is the point when one realizes the danger of misrepresentation and invisibilization. Be it the big cinema screens or the limited access I had to the children's literature, with absolutely no role models in my context, I grew up thinking, I am the only one feeling like a boy, trapped in this body. But you know what? Between all of this chaos too, there were times when I would hide myself from people and dance on Shahrukh Khan's song and feel like a little Shahrukh Khan of my life, the hero of my life. And those little moments used to give me so much of euphoria and joy. So till now, you all know one part of my identity, which is being a trans man. But that is not it. So I identify as a Dalit, queer, feminist, trans man. बहुत सारे शब्द. Too many of words, very heavy words. I hear you there. They were heavy for me too. And it took me a long while to understand the meanings of all of these different terms which I use in my identity today. Being from the marginalized caste, it was easier for me to accept my transness and queerness. But it took me 23 years to introduce myself as a Dalit person. Having lost so many of friends in school for being Dalit, I didn't want that to happen anymore. But more than that was the feeling that what if I'm not accepted within the communities again? Cinema always made us to believe that you can either be a Muslim, or a Dalit person, or a queer person, or a trans person. But what happens when different identities interact with each other to shape the experiences of the people was a very reality of my life since the beginning. But I never had the language for it. As a part of my job and work and activism, I do a lot of capacity building sessions in different schools, corporates, colleges, national, international organizations. And it breaks my heart when 40, 50, 60 years old people come and tell me that, hey, Zayan, we have completed all of our education, we have a degree, we have also done PhD, but till now, nobody has told us much about gender and sexuality. And even caste. And that is the point when one realizes the importance of intersectionality and representation. Why don't we talk about caste much when intersectionality is talked about? Why are we so scared of the topic when this is the reality of many of the children sitting in our classrooms and schools? Wounds that the system gives to us takes time to heal. But the healing starts when people around start accepting us, giving us love and kindness. I was 21 when I finally got a community of queer and trans people for myself. I was doing my master's then, and my college had a queer collective. And that was till date, has been one of the most liberating times of my life, when I got to learn so much about myself, but also about the people around me. This time was also very interesting because I made some of the most beautiful friendships with straight people, straight friends of mine, because they were the ones who did the conscious effort to understand my queerness and transness. I didn't have to do that homework for them. And maybe that is what makes our bond so special till date. All of us, all of you, when we are trying to understand gender, it's a spectrum, yes. It'll be confusing. But making peace with that confusion and being okay with it needs to be the part of our lives. There will be days we would not be able to find answers to the questions, and that is okay to sit with that feeling of confusion and discomfort and making peace with it, but also consciously realizing that in your journeys of understanding different and new things, the other person deserves your love and respect and acceptance. Communities and spaces where people are nurtured with love, care, kindness, where love is seen as a feminist practice, in all of those spaces, the scope of healing expands to great extents. And I really hope that all of us sitting in this room and whichever space that we access, be it our schools, classrooms, workspaces, we create an environment when people can say that, hey, I feel more like a Shahrukh Khan and less of what people have been telling me till now. Thank you.